December 29th. Defendant lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage. Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. No, 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 no. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It would just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. District Court, courtroom number 2. And now the case of one. What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry, I just realized the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild's a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix, right? Yeah? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count. Did you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero, zilch, nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix, right? I'll show you as a textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring your dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well, you may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now! Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it, it's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. Alright, Detective, you may proceed with your testimony. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, that is a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped the vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this into evidence. Autopsy report added to the court record. Cause of death 10:15, blunt force trauma to back of head. Blunt object. Very well, Mr. Rat, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Get pressed. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. Huh. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. Eh? What's the matter, Nick? You need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of crime? All the circus performers gathered in the big top to practice their routines. I forgot to grab my phone charger. One moment, sorry. And then I dropped my phone. I knew there was something I forgot to do during the break, I just forgot what it was. When you say all the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the Animal Tamer, Mo the Clown, Ben the Ventriloquist. And of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the Ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the Tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. Oh. Broke up around 10. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing her Regent, while Mo went back to his room, tired from work. Ben the Ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The Ringmaster and Max went off to the Ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? Seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, he was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. Murder itself took place in the plaza, 10:15. I'd like to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15. Okay, not a problem, pal. We got a witness that shows us the whole thing. Told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! That is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? Wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? Big box. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. So, did you get the box open? You mind telling us what was inside the box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, Detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. A condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? Filled with pepper. Pepper. Why in the world was it locked in that big box? Only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle from a giant wooden box. Contains pepper. Alright. Weird. Cause of death, blunt force trauma that snapped the vertebrae. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? Done your homework, pal. And you haven't found his murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it's something to do with something that the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Eh? I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up is such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. I have a feeling it'll be mainly Trilo on the stand. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trilo Quist. I'm employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me. The word of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence. Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? I don't even... How do you song that? It had a good rhythm. Maya, you're wrong. Just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult the judge. Shut up. Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. So ugly, I want to punch you in the face on the off chance a swelling would help. You know your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order. I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting tested. Fuck! As you won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness, then let us proceed. Thank you, Von Karma. Once practice was over, I left the tent with Clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could a punk not be the killer? And the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. How could he have headed to the scene of the crime when he was supposedly in the office, which is through the tent to get to? Which doesn't make a lot of sense, because why would the wooden buildings be attached to the tent as opposed to their own little trailers? But whatever! You saw Maximilian Galactica heading toward the scene. You're sure of that? Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. But a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown cannot be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. A hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for the hat to be at the scene. Well done, Ms. Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unraveled. Well done. Bow. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, I guess she's the boss again. Practice is over. The clown, you're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a bit of exercise and his makeup's running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to kneeling over for good. Poor We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened? Ditched him, went back to the entrance. Why the plaza entrance? To do some thinking, of course. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix, right? I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good dunker. At least my teachers said I was. Max heading toward the scene. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup? Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, couldn't you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. No, it means that they saw someone in silk hat, robe, white roses. Not necessarily Max. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right, that makes him the killer. There's only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense, and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? There's no proof it was Max. Ben only saw Max? As much as I want to pick the middle one, I feel like this is the one they want. Because they're just gonna go, it was his get-up. They were the only one you saw? You didn't also see the ringmaster? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Rat? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? That guy. That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Ah! Obviously the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that according to the defendant? Likely story. If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? I see. It seems at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony. There are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let us move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina. Which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Is there a difference? Once practice is over, I left the tent with the stooge. I mean, clown. Oh, they're just back here again. No, we didn't. It reset to the beginning. It didn't actually do this. The police took Magic Boy away. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? I think it was around, say, a bit after 10:30. Practice ended at 10 PM, so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the The truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in the weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix, right. We can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Rat, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for in the cold that night? A cheap ring with an eerie sparkle from T to R is engraved on it. She didn't mention... I think he was planning to propose to the 16-year-old. Quick reminder of... Yeah. There's something wrong here. Is it Regina? If he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. Yep, the puppet exploded. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is that is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well, well, well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Eh? Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? Is the witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime? However, he did not see the victim on his way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there's a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max having to act if it. There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain. Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose. What's the matter? You don't think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? That the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now I have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. The proposal. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket. Are you sure about that? You were going to propose. You, a puppet. Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't find love. I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her. Judge, no! Stop. Everyone needs to stop proposing to the 16-year-old. Guys, quit it. Exactly. His eyes looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Rat, please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? I don't know, Maya. I'm worried. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina, Press. By proposal, you'll mean proposing marriage, right? To Regina? Of course that's what I mean. What kind of stupid question is that? Wasn't gonna propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang. Right, Ben? Yeah. Got it. That's the truth. Had something to give her. What was it you were planning on giving her? You know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question, what was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. At least the Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about the last shot at almost anything. Whatever that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equal bad. Push on anyway. Never fear. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to— Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring, I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology. You're sure to enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. An engagement ring? Actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina's going to love it. Somehow that checks out, puppet. It's just a ring. What's the matter, Nick? Well, there's gotta be something I can catch him on. Kept it in my pocket. Whose pocket was the ring in? Mine, of course? What a stupid question. You gotta be kidding me. You think Ben could pull that off? I'm sorry, really. You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one who should be apologizing. Really? Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. So you went to the lodging house to give it to her. That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times that I lost count. But, the uppity snob kept getting in the way. Uppity snob? You couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. When I get a hold of him, I'm gonna saw his wood block in half, and not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries. So what about this present? He says he still has it in his pocket, but he does not. So you're still thinking of trying to give it to Regina? Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on the thing. I'm not gonna give it up that easy. I wondered how much he receives for appearing in the circus. Probably way more than he deserves. How about it, Nick? I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony. That's the spirit, Nick. Give him back. The judge has that dazed and confused look again. Maybe it should get out more. Weird things happen in this courtroom, okay? Hey man, I think that there's a monkey that may have stolen your ring. Trilo, you mind if I show you something? What? Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Looks like they're going to double team me now. What is it with the writing in this one? Jesus Christ. Do you recognize this ring? Ah, that's mine. Give it back, thief. Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said in the end I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Pwah. What's going on here? That's... Ben, say something. Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean the room they put money? Like a bank vault? That filthy monkey's gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny things. Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. Give me more. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might have... well, it could have been taken around that time. That monkey's a menace. Ben, what's with you? Ah, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not to commit the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring, snatching monkey money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? That there's a flaw in the testimony. Man got attacked by a monkey. There's a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. I have never seen that animation on you before. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix, right? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That is where I'm going with this little theory, which leads to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Rat. Well then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix, right? Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry of Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. I've told you so many times you'd think you'd know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it'll change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Yep, Maya, that's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. I'm glad Mia hasn't possessed you. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. You keep bringing it back to the symbols, but anyone else can put those on. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring, and you went chasing after him. How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see, I'd say about Suppose 5 minutes, I think. So his victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Rat, please proceed with your cross-examination. I'll give you that I was waiting. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina? That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I got 4, you know. 4. F-O-U-R, counting Ben, of course. That many eyes, do you really think something would have slipped by me? Well, you've only got 2 to work. 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose. The judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. Saw Max in the plaza. So you saw him coming out of the big top tent? Of course, that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent the entire time. I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. I've been waiting about 5 minutes. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure that out yourself. You already know that practice finished promptly at 10. And you know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Now what time was it? Where is that report? 10:15. Indeed, what time was it? I'm not good at math. It was 10:10 p.m. That sounds about right. Sounds about right because it's the time I saw him on the scene. I said good evening, but he didn't even acknowledge me. So you testified you said good evening to Max that night? You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning, good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben, you got something to add? Let me guess, that's not a Trilo, you say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside of the courtroom. Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances, you should know better. There's gotta be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Why would they say good evening when Bro got a bottle over the head? And they were talking to each other. Well, there's a weird bit with the bottle. The timeline doesn't really make sense, does it? That was breakfast, I guess? Yeah? You should be mad. And not like good evening mad? I don't know, man. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? Strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Gag, that hurts. Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that? Bluffing's everything in this world. I'm sure you've already learned that one. Guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. Absolutely sure it was Maximilian Galactica. How do you know it was the roses, right? 100% sure. No way we could be any more confident than that. Those 3 symbols, eh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with the chorus. Everybody, together now. Silk-hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in. But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. Yeah, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right? Gotta have something that'll prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. But Zibaudo. Zibaudo? Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal, it was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. He'll be fine. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ow. Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would go up and say good evening to his rival. He hasn't done anything particularly lewd outright. Now there's a lot of things that could have been said about some of those things that have been said, but we haven't crossed the line yet. Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie, honestly. That's enough from you, Mr. Quist, Mr. Rat. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? I think he saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no grinning at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That's why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. That in the valve? You? Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening then? It was probably the ringmaster, because he was the only one actually over there at the time of death, it seems. Considering the ill temper of the witness, there's only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. Judge. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh yeah, I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Barry, the victim himself, wasn't it? You're correct. It was indeed Russell Barry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster himself, Russell Barry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Guilt. Answer the question, Mr. Quist. He exploded again. He'll be fine. Order. How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica or the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Barry? The prosecution agrees that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's three symbols. Three symbols. Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you gotta remember them by now. Here we go again, everybody, all together. Down. Yes, we know, it's a silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak, anybody could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's three symbols. However, do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else, dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Barry. What? Ms. Von Karma. Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, If that is the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. I think I finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, right? What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but... Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Stop it. Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. I'm so excited I get to play tag. Honestly, since the first part was so long, I think I may as well just make the next part equally long. Just get the first things out of the way, you know. See what I'm dealing with for the future. If they're all about the same anyway. I will, however, take a short break on my end. As, once again, this is streamed. You get to see me fuck up and wonder why I'm dropping frames everywhere. Seriously, it's dropped 3,000 and I don't know why. Be right back. 11:54 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 5. Sweetie, you have to believe me, I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means... It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. Fabulous. That's a fabulously possible possibility. Well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Double, Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up, magician or president. You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous, this mystery just keeps getting deeper. "1206 District Court, courtroom number 2. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well. I will now call upon my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Carls please take the stand? Why'd you just call him a pitiful clown? The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. In West Clandovia. Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish? I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court. Oh yeah, maybe this joke's okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirts, no shoes, no service. Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How was that one? Tee-hee indeed. But a couple of clowns who are up no good. Start making trouble in my neighborhood. Your name? Lawrence Curls, professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the crime scene at around 10:15 p.m. the day of the murder? Correct? I can't do accents, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. Very well, Mr. Curls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into this plaza without the humor. Okay. Oh, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. I know, I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. And suddenly you're very relatable. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. And laughter is somewhat contagious. If one person laughs, then other people will. It just may not necessarily occur once they realize you're the one that told the joke. But maybe. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing? Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here? Witness. Huh? We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of the case. Really? You'll hear me out? Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you. I can't wait. Poor Gumshoe. Now that that's settled, we shall begin once again with the testimony. Of course we can! I'll talk for as long as you want. The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. And what was up with the box? That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I believe I have enough to pass judgment now. Of course you can. There is no way that this account can be criticized. However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. That must be because of my innocent, insincere smile. Mr. Rat, please begin the defense's cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, you gotta find some kind of contradiction in his testimony. I know. Mr. Rat, Your Honor? I'm afraid that if you pushed a witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling. I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not one of the corny jokes. let's get depressing. You say that practice wrapped up around 10, right? See, that's the thing. Huh? How exactly am I supposed to make a joke about 10 PM? Now 8 o'clock, that's something a clown can riff off of. Let's just pretend it was 8 o'clock, that way I can make a great joke. Let's not. Let's not make it 8 PM, okay, Mo? What do you mean, let's not? Don't take the clown out of the clowning around. Come on, Nick, just listen to his joke. There are 3 reasons why I don't want to. 1, I probably won't laugh. 2, I'll get hit with a penalty. 3, she'll whip me. Will the witness just proceed with his factual testimony? You're so boring. He's very tired. You were pooped that night? Yeah, I was very tired, not to mention I had some bad Mexican food. What? The double cheese, double bean enchilada is a dangerous menu item. What happened after that, as they say, happens. That one was cool, huh? I hear the kids really love toilet humor these days. That joke was so hip, I don't want to ruin it with a reply. I've got a good reply, though. That joke was so funny, just earned you a penalty. Hey, don't hit me for that! Ah, boy. I might lose a lot of life on this one, because I like to hear all the dialogues. Try again. You just happened to glance out the window? You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeball. Mr. Curls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on it. Yeah, because it's talking about stuff out the window. Exactly why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday. Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah! I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? That's not something you'll just forget to mention. Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. This should start turning the tables in our favor. Heard a huge noise outside the window, and that's what made me look outside. Press! What was the sound like? I guess it kinda sounded like, yeah, I guess you could say. Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary. Oh, how'd you know that I was gonna make a joke? I guess that the sound sounded like I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly. Someone getting hit, huh? What then? You went to look out the window and just saw? Two silhouettes a bit far away. Far away. If you had to say exactly how far away were they? Let me think about that for a second. If my room is here, and they looked about yay big, let's say about 30 feet from my window. Just 30 feet? That's not far at all. It was snowing that night, and it cut down on visibility. I see. Please continue with your testimony regarding the 2 shadows that you saw. Maybe we're just fine and it was the one thing. The ringmaster, he was with Max. You say you clearly saw this, even though you were, by your own admission, far away? That's right. I had been thinking about it over and over since that night. But things didn't really make sense until I spoke with the prosecutor, Miss Von Karma. But now I'm 100% certain that it was Max and the ringmaster that I saw that night. Just think about it. How can I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity symbols? Uppity symbols? Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everyone knows what to do together now, say it with Uncle Mo. See what I mean? It's always like this. The crowd never wants to go along with me. I must really be utterly and completely worthless as a clown. Yowza! Enough foolishness, get back on track. Will the witness please testify as to what he saw, and only what he saw? Max Clonk, the ringmaster. You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head? Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with? You mean the weapon? I have no idea. A weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you? Well, yeah. Yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. Key. Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night? Objection! I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You'd better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what's waiting for you. A nice penalty. A 5-bar penalty. So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix, right? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not seize the crime? Fuck it. I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony. What's the meaning of that, Mr. Rat? Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that. However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he says he looked up out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972, correct? Mr. Carls, how do you respond to Mr. Rat's assessment? They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown car. Mr. Carls, are you reciting the C-Team thing to anger this court? No, I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown and make up to find the truth. Well, you're back from your jog? Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement. On karma. That is cheating, young lady. Tampering with witnesses again. So now you're saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster. Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out. Checked out. Yep, he was on permanent vacation, as they say. Mr. Carls. Your Honor. You did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify to this silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it? Got it. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. Silk hat, black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever. This should finally be good enough, yes? It is a decisive testimony. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe that. Alright, Mr. Rat, commence your cross-examination. And don't penalize me. It could have only belonged to Max. Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? The shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think? What are you getting at? I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% absolutely certain that it was Max? I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max, I'm convinced of that. Doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over it again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night? Saw his uppity symbols. Trilo said the same thing. But if it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken his symbols and worn them? I thought of that myself. But just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max. You're sure of that? Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. So cat black cloak all there. You're sure that is what you saw that night? Couldn't read. Exactly what I said I saw is exactly what I saw. I've got eyes like a hawk. Don't birds have terrible night vision? But that's not all I saw. No doubt it was him. You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? I can see like a hawk out of my left eye, and an eagle out of my right eye. Our records say his eyesight is a perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly. The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes. Hey, you asked me what Hey, you asked me what goddamn. Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. Fluttering in the wind. So you didn't actually see what the criminal is holding? That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard. Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure. They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report. Trilo's testimony and now Mo's. It really seems like Max is the killer. Nick, you gotta find a contradiction here. That's not gonna be enough. Huh? I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that'll help. I've gotta do it. So that means it's evidence time. Promo poster. It has its things. It does specify that it has its 3 famous symbols. A map. It was the monkey. Pepper box, wooden box. Blunt force trauma back of the head. Specifically. This is one talking about the symbols. But this is the actual symbols thing. I don't know. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols? I suppose so. Still cat in the cloak, right? Mo? Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols. Yay, everyone get ready. All together now. Still cat, cloak, white roses. What the? Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo? Do you like pie? I love pie. 3.14. Silence, fool. You are to respond with the whole truth, no fractions. Order. Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. Counter-objection, you yourself talked about the light. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white, there's no way he could have missed them. Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Rat, are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case? Clearly not. He is just toying with the court. I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone's toying with the court, but it is not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How could you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trilo saw them all. He saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims that there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this... Judge, forget the roses, think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature. I have come to a conclusion. I am 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony. What? If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling. A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. No doubt in my mind. Where are we at? I see. There were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there, I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Mr. Rat, you've got one last chance at this. Just one? I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me there's a contradiction with Mr. Curl's statement, you better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. No doubt there were no white roses that night. Well, I'll be honest. Ow! You promised, Mr. Phoenix, right? No more badgering. Hope you enjoyed this penal— Ow, shit! Excuse me, I'm the manhandle, not the pen. Ow! Witness, continue your testimony. You're not gonna whip me too, are you? Maybe after court, if you're into that kind of thing. But isn't it kind of pointless if you only whip me after court? Alright! That hurt. No doubt in my mind there were no white roses that night. About the Decembers there, I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat, there's no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene. But the silk hat was also left at the scene. Right? So since they took away all my fucking HP for pressing, I guess we're going with this and praying. Right? This wouldn't happen to be the hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night. No question in your mind. Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Rat? Miss Von Karma? Where exactly was that hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime, which means... The silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness also stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. No, that's not true. Order, Mr. Curls. Yes, Your Honor? What is the meaning of all of this? You're old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. Hey, that's just not right. It's so harsh. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things. What? Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess, you just didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory, they're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting above me doesn't mean no matter how old I get, I was younger than you. Sub. Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb hat. Telling the truth. He's turned into a bratty little kid. Pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing the dumb hat. He was there. He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Well? What do you want? You said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene? Huh? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Objection! Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Objection! The witness's testimony is full of holes, Miss Von Karma. Protests... This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma's protest is useless. You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is how did he leave the crime scene? The answer's obvious. He just turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened? Say what? Huh? I'm not quite sure I know where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. Oh, my health is gone. You? With the no extra sets of footprints? Yeah. Look at this photograph. The problem is the footprints in the snow. Footprints? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. Aye. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of his testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine. I'll tell you the truth this time. You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyway. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse than they get better. Before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Curls. Yes? Testimony you provided up until now has been false. It hasn't been false, I haven't lied, it's just what? It's just I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Order. I will have order. Franziska Von Karma, how could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have known you would have exactly the same opinion as I have. What opinion is that? It's not funny. That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you say you saw, Mr. Curls. You're not gonna believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste your time with your idiotic drivel. The truth. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything that I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he... Please just float. Yes. Fucking P&G. This is the truth. Now get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was, how do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician. But to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses. Why won't you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story. To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? He's probably telling the truth. That third floor thing is really bugging me. What he just said was so strange, I don't think he would have made it up. Which means that he is telling the truth. That's what I think. Nick, wait. That means Max actually used magic. Yikes, you'd be right. Ow. Only a foolish-looking fool could be so fooled by such a foolish fool's foolish dream. Don't be ridiculous. Magic does not exist. I suppose I'll let you all in on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that, but I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen. You imbecile. If you disregard a need for proof, Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It's an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. Stop it, controller. Behave. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned. (2:33). Defendant lobby number 5. Hey sweeties, what in the world is going on? That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please, it is not that easy. But it looks so effortless for you on stage. It's not that simple, I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires to have them hoist me through the air. Ah, you just told me the secret to your magic. No, I broke the first rule. The cardinal rule. The only rule. I'm sorry, Max. Sorry, that's Phoenix's line. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks. Such a difficult trick. Nick, what do we do now? All we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea. Let's do our best and catch the sucker. To be continued. So both court segments ended up being about an hour and a half-ish. And I think that's about the same as the investigation segment, right? So there's really no clean place to cut the investigation. But I might just hit it around the hour mark and then upload the next video, probably in the same day. And then just do the same thing for the courts, whenever it's part 1 to part 2. Just because an hour and a half long video is somewhat intimidating, and playlists exist, you know? Eh, nothing I can do about it. Whoa. Okay. That's something bad just happened. But hey, we're making progress again. First solo recording / stream in a while. I honestly don't remember if I mentioned it on recording, but there is a family tragedy that I was very much involved with. As in attempting to care for and things like that. Which kinda had me not in a state to do recordings. But hey. I would say I'm fine, but eh. We're gonna continue regardless. So yeah. Till next time. Take care.